So, Forest win for the first time in 30 years in European competition away from home. That's an excellent achievement, great stat. And yeah, it wasn't a great performance. It was very scrappy, in fact. And I think we were kind of lucky in the end to win. I think Utrecht, towards the end, looked more likely to get the winning goal. But we managed to see it out. I think our ultimately extra quality got us through the game. And that's all that really matters. And even if Europe isn't so much our priority now, winning is only going to breed confidence. So you've got to take that into the Premier League games. And we haven't got any European games now until the end of January. So we can focus now, hopefully, on getting a run together in the league. Ultimately, not an easy set of games coming up. But, you know, this game is only going to help us, I would presume. With a rotated side, John continuing to play in the European games, as he has done the last season. Zinchenko, Douglas Luiz coming back into the fray as well after being out injured, straight into the starting 11, also back on the bench. And just having them three available makes our team look a lot better. Not in terms of actually their quality, because I think Zinchenko is still very questionable, but just having more first teamers is what I'm trying to say here. Just having them available does allow us to have a more balanced, more options available. Only I still don't think Zinchenko is the full shilling, and I still think we should arguably send him back to Arsenal next month and maybe see if Cabano can do it. But that's a different story. We did see the likes of Murillo come back as well, which I'm a bit surprised to see him start this game. It seemed a bit of a risk, but he managed to play 70 minutes without any worries, seemingly. Morato and Ndoye are the only ones to stay in. Besides that, you saw Dominguez be captain, which is, I think, a first for him. Don't even know if he's been a captain before in his career, so that's good for him to get that responsibility. Magee, Hudson-Odoi, Kanwendo completing the team. So very rotated, loads of chances early on in the game. Hudson-Odoi had a couple of chances. Morato had a header. Luiz had a chance. And yeah, Zinchenko also had a chance, and I've got to mention this because he should have scored that. He should have put it onto his right foot, or he should have squared it to Kanwendo, and he probably would have scored if he'd done either of those two, or we would have scored. So that was frustrating, and that's probably why people have criticised him still. And yeah, young Zachaba as well, I forgot to mention, obviously playing at right back as well. I think he got a little bit exposed at times, but end of the day, he's not actually a right back, he's a centre back. But, you know, I think he did the best he could. I don't think he was bad, like some people have said he was. And it was weird because we had loads of chances, and then Utrecht just suddenly turned it on, and we just couldn't really seem to handle it. We did just about enough. And we were kind of lucky not to concede for a bit, and then the game kind of petered out. We go into the second half, make two changes, bring Sangara and Anderson on for Luiz and Magee. Luiz probably because of his fitness, and Magee because he just isn't really doing much in a Forest shirt so far. And pretty much straight away we get a goal through Kanwendo, who got very little service in that first half. So he obviously thought, I'm just going to do it myself, because it was a great goal. Really good play, individual sort of effort, great finish. And, you know, while we've criticised him, I'm not sure if he can cut it in the Premier League yet. I think he's going to have to get chances now, otherwise he's not going to play, because we haven't got a European game for a bit now. But, you know, he's proven he can score goals for us. He scored 2 good goals in the last 2 European games. And with Woody and Awani out, I think this is good. You know, we have to be able to rely on him if we really need him. And hopefully we can see him do that in the league now. We've got to see him do it in the league. So that's good. We kind of then saw the game peter out again. It kind of just went very flat, not very lively. Utrecht kind of had a couple of chances, and then before you know it, they equalised kind of out of the blue. It wasn't great from us, really. Another set piece conceded. And Ndoye, again, very questionable defending. He was right in front of the ball. Abbott was also in the mix as well. But again, I think it's a bit harsh maybe to criticise him. He's out of his depth, possibly, and out of position. More Ndoye's fault, to be honest. And I don't really know how he lasted 90 minutes. I'm always going to give players a fair crack, benefit of the doubt. But I think every Forest fan can surely admit that Ndoye's not playing very well. And I don't really know why I mean, in this game, it didn't really matter, but he surely can't start against Spurs. You know, when you have Hutchinson available, playing Hudson-Odoi on the other side, you know, hopefully Bacco can get up to speed. You've got to see these guys getting ahead of him, at least to give him opportunities to come off the bench, take him out of firing line, that might actually help him, take him out of the team for a bit, because I just don't think he's offering much right now, Dan and Doy. And yeah, at that stage, I thought Utrecht were probably going to win the game. They were having chances. It looked like it was going to be a typical end to that game, and they were going to go and nick it. And then we ended up doing so. It was a good bit of play out of the blue, really. Gibbs White with the initial header and a really clever finish from Jesus. Both of those came on, and Jesus scored, I believe, within like 83 seconds of coming on. 7th goal for us. He continues to be by far the best signing we've made this season. And yeah, he comes up clutch, doesn't he? So many times this season now, he scored big goals. Won us the game last week, won us the game this week. And that's really, really pleasing. Yeah, even if Europe's not our priority, because it isn't, we have to prioritise getting our league form together, or just at the moment staying in the league. Europe is still something we want to try and relish. We don't know when Barnett's going to be in it. It could be a long time still, based off this season. So let's make the most of it. But let's also try and do as best as we can while we're in it, And we're now currently, I think it's probably not even going to last until the end of this evening because other teams are going to play. But currently, we are in the automatic places of the Europa League table in 8th. So that's great. Being in the automatic zone for the first time is really good. It would also ease fixture congestion as well. We wouldn't have to do the playoffs, so that's good. We want to go as far as we can ultimately. While we're in it, make the most of it. This is something we've all dreamt of for 30 years, something we've all waited for. And, I think we ought to remember that, really. But, yeah, it's only going to breed confidence. It's only going to allow us to take momentum into even more important games like this Spurs one. And I think the Spurs one is a game that we can win. I know we've not been very good recently. Brighton was poor. Wolves was poor, really, despite winning. Everton was very poor. Today was average, really, but we've got the job done. And I think that's kind of good. Even if we've not played well the last 4 games, we've won 2 out of 4 of them. So the fact that we're winning without playing particularly well, I think is probably a good thing, even if it's not pretty. And this is probably what we're going to get with Dyche. We're going to win games when we're not actually playing that well. You saw it with Burnley all the time. When with Everton, they ground games out without not even playing particularly well. It isn't going to be glamorous most of the time with Sean Dyche, but I believe he will get the results. And that's ultimately what matters, but it probably ain't going to be anything too exhilarating. It weren't. People criticised Forest last season, but because we were doing so well, I can tell you I did not find it boring watching Forest last season, but because we were doing so well. But I guess when you're at the bottom end, it is more frustrating when you're playing bad football or just boring football more than anything. But we've won 2 out of 4 while not playing particularly well. I don't see us doing that with Ange. We played bad in pretty much every game under Ange. We didn't win any of them. So I think that's the difference here. With Spurs to come at the weekend, of course, they're in very hit and miss form. Genuinely, it depends which version of Spurs turn up. It depends which version of Forest turn up. I cannot call that game at all. That could go either way. I really don't know, but it's going to be a tough test regardless. If we get a win there, then suddenly we're in a really positive space again. It's funny how these things work. And then Fulham, obviously, they're kind of relegation rival right now, and a tough game for us typically down the years. Another Bournemouth, really, a game we don't tend to win, and that's going to be difficult. We've got to go there and try and win. But yeah, I'm not sure if we will, but we've got tough games coming up. City's going to be a free hit, and then Everton again, and then going into January as well, Villa, West Ham. Some huge games for us there, and it's good that we're going to get a clear run now. No international breaks, no European games, of just Premier League games, because you've got an opportunity now to get some momentum going in the league. So that's good. So please, everyone, get your thoughts in the comments on this game. Please like, subscribe to Rads if you're new. Let's get to 7K. That would be amazing if we could do that. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and up the Reds.